Well, Namaste and welcome to the second episode of Higher Visions Awaken with Linda Graham. Welcome to this space. I hope you enjoy this. Today, what I'm going to be talking to you about is what actually happened in the weeks running up to my huge awakening. Talking about visions I had, meeting my guide, and also the dream that I had throughout my life. You'll hear all about that in the first episode. There is a link down below if you'd like to look at that first before you begin today. Anyway, I hope you really enjoy this. If you do enjoy it, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss any future episodes. So let the fun begin. So in the first episode, there is a link here to the first episode. I covered the years building up to my pre-awakening, my awakening, which I'm going to share with you today. And included in that was a dream that I had from the age of 2 every night till I was 8, and it continued once a week until I was 33. So you might want to look at that first before we continue, because during this experience, I start to have the dreaming when I'm awake, and I think that's where I'm going to start. So one morning, and as I said to you in the last episode, it wasn't an easy time for me. My mother had passed. A lot of other things have been going on in my life. It wasn't easy. These experiences and a new partner in my life really made a difference. However, all of these other things and these emotions and my own personal blocks that I'd had to clear since then were all there, kind of holding me up in my human conditioning. So here we are one morning, and I'm sitting up in bed. My lover has kindly brought me a cup of tea, and I'm sitting up in bed, and I've been having quite a lot of visions, and during this sort of quiet time in the morning, I would look at the wall, and suddenly I'd get this sort of chiffony movement of energy on the wall, and the more I concentrated on it, then I started to see visions on the wall. So I will talk more about those in a moment. I want to go now. I'm kind of looking out for this on this particular morning. I was getting a little bit hooked into seeing these visions because I didn't really understand them. So here I am sitting up, having this cup of tea, and I start to have this dream I've had for so many years, and here I am, wide awake. So the screen appears in the dream. This white, dazzling white screen appears, and the ball is there, the dot is there, right up in the corner of the screen, and it starts to bounce with these little dotted lines to the middle of the screen. And my heart is beating crazily because I'm awake. I don't know how to get away from this dream because I normally wake up to get away from it. Very, very scary. The ball gets to the middle of the screen and starts to come towards me. And as it comes towards me, it turns into a little cartoon of a man. And then it turns into a real man, and then it just stops. I was just like, I was really, really relieved. Wow. I was like, oh my goodness. There's so many things going on at the moment that are not really explained. Luckily for me, at that particular time, I had, through my partner, I had met somebody called Jenny who was just amazing. She was just able to help me understand some of the experiences I was having, including explaining some of the visions. So one of the visions, and this is like looking into a massive plasma screen, which didn't exist in those days. So I suddenly see this big screen on the wall, and there would be a scene going on. Sometimes it would be still, sometimes it would be moving. I remember one time there was a picture of kind of the heavens and all these planets laid out. I did a few sketches of them. Other times there were kind of movies going on, but they kept fluctuating with lots of bits that didn't really make any sense. And as Jenny had said to me when I had asked her about it, it could be the spirit getting my attention. However, she did show me some pictures relating to my visions and to the sketches I'd done, and she showed me in these books, and there they were, and the planets as I'd drawn them and hadn't studied them at that particular point were in alignment as they actually were in the heavens. And I was like, wow, that's really quite amazing. So here I am having kind of all sorts of odd things going on. I'm doing a few readings. I'm having these kind of visions going on that some don't really make a lot of sense. And I've got my own personal kind of heartache going on as well. And I was in this unnerved sort of state that here I am. I'm starting to have this dream when I'm awake, and it's a little bit scary. To be honest with you, it was a little bit scary because I was a little bit scared. If I'd go to sleep, I might have the dream, and here I am awake, I might have the dream. And if it happens again, how was I going to stop it? So, and I constantly looked for a sign from my mother. Having seen her, I hoped to connect with her again. Oh, and my guide had made himself known to me in one of my inner visitations with spirit. He appeared as a Native American Indian. He seemed like to be a very tall man and very strong man, which was fantastic for me because I was a bit of a basket case, really. I had so many earthly things that were sort of biting at me going on, and all of these unexplained experiences going on as well, that to have a very strong spirit was really, really helpful. And I remember one day my friend Fiona came to see me and she said, "So your spirit guide's really Native American Indian?" I said, "Yes." She said, "What is his name?" And I said, "Oh, Walking Reindeer." I said, "Oh, I probably just made that up." And I remember she went off to Canada. She was Canadian. She went off to Canada, and when she came back, she brought me a gift, a little lovely soft leather pouch been made by a Native American Indian, and she just knew to bring this back to me. And I actually use it to this day. I keep all my runestones in there. And anyway, as she was leaving, she said to the Indian, "What is your name?" And he said, "Oh, Walking Reindeer." So I felt like it was a verification, and I got used to understanding that if you were on the right track, you would get verification from the outside world, and somewhere along the line the answers would come to you. So like that, and I felt very excited to hear that, and felt like I was going in the right direction. Anyway, as the weeks went on, I continued doing my tarot, and here I am still with these earthly things. I'm really, really in grief, deep grief, and the other situations that were going on were really, really tough for me, really, really tough. And one night, everyone had gone in the household, had gone to bed, and I was up very late at night, which isn't unusual for me. I think it must have been about sort of 2 a.m, and I'd been very quietly trying to play my guitar and singing some songs that I'd been writing. I'd been singing this song, Pictures in the Night, What have I seen? Where have I been? I just wanted to try and make sense of it all. Now I'm sitting in this lounge. It was about a 26-foot long room. It was a really long room. And I had a few candles alight, but that was it. It was a very, very kind of dim light. Anyway, I put the guitar down. I put the guitar down, and I had this deep sinking feeling. I just didn't know how to cope with myself. I didn't know how to cope with my grief over the loss of my mother and other things that were going on. I was in such a state, and I felt myself sinking down, and I hoped the world would just swallow me up, so I kind of didn't have to be anymore. Anyway, the room started getting lighter, and I thought, oh, that's a bit interesting. Looked around. I thought, it's like the room is getting lighter. And then gradually, like somebody was turning up a dimmer switch, the room got lighter and lighter and bright and really bright and dazzlingly bright. And then this kind of force of light hit me in my forehead, and this just incredible feeling of love filled me completely in such a way. Nothing has ever touched me like that again on this earth. The love that poured in was such a beautiful experience, and I knew the divine existed. I knew I was being touched by this God figure, this infinite consciousness that's available to all of us. And it was filling me, really filling me, right down through my entire being. I buzzed with it everywhere, and I felt this beautiful feeling of love flowing through me. So incredible, so wow, out of this world. And I felt safe. I felt really safe. I felt like I was being held. I felt like I was being cherished. And all these kind of understandings for my life came into my knowing, came into my being. And I kind of felt like I understood what was going on. And I felt this incredible safety just so deeply permeating right through me. So a moment before this happened, I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to be anywhere anymore. And now I was so excited. I was so excited by the immense possibility and how incredible humans were, and this understanding of the power of humans and this divine spark that runs through each of us. And I was just so excited. I was so excited. In fact, I was so excited. I will tell you now, it took me 7 years to calm down. I knew that the world was going to start waking up. I thought it was going to start waking up like the next day. I did have quite a wait. I don't know how long this went on. This feeling was just the most incredible, tremendous, beautiful, life-changing, life-altering experience, and a love like I've never ever experienced before. You know, sometimes you can look at the wonder of nature and it touches you, and you can look at a brand new baby smiling and that really warms you, and you can look at your family who you love with all your heart and that expands you. It's nothing like this experience that I'd had. It's a touch of that. It's a spark of those things. It was amazing. And somehow it just kind of stopped. And I pick up my guitar. I suddenly get this song downloading into me, just pouring into me. And I wrote it down as fast as I could on my notebook, which I have here, or from all those years ago. And I really couldn't play the guitar very well at all. I was a very early baby with the guitar. However, I managed to work out what chords were to this tune. And I learned to kind of play it, and I sang it, and I sang it with enthusiasm, and I woke everyone up in the house, and I really didn't mind. I don't know, I was so excited with what happened, and they were a little bit worried that I had really lost the plot now. But they kind of realised that I was okay, you know, I was okay, just rather excited. But the song that was downloaded to me, it was called Why Not Look Inside, and I'd like to share it with you. I haven't got the guitar with me. I don't play the guitar anymore since a health issue I had and been ongoing for 15 years. I've got a sort of situation going on with my ends of my fingers. They have no fats, no pads there at all. So I'm just going to sing this to you. Okay. If you need an answer to a question, who do you turn to? If you find they can be of no assistance, who do you turn to? The answer to some questions is so very hard to find, and they spin around your head, answering something else instead. So why not look inside? Why not search inside? Look and you will find all the answers in your mind. So why not look inside? When you search in the world outside, who do you turn to? When you find that no one has the answer, who do you turn to? You hear someone calling softly, softly out to you, whispering gently in your ear, till the answers are all clear. So why not look inside? Why not search inside? Look and you will find all the answers in your mind. So why not look inside? Wow. This changed my life completely, permanently, and no one could ever convince me that the divine did not exist. I knew the divine. The divine had touched me and lifted me up and gave me hope and support. It was really quite incredible. Really incredible. Stunning. And you know, at that time, I hadn't been working for a while because I'd been so kind of down, and I couldn't concentrate on doing sales. So here I was, I suddenly had this amazing epiphany. I thought, right, well, let's go and see if I can get a job now. Well, nobody would hire me. I was so positive and so bouncy and overjoyed about life that I was a bit scary. So nobody was like, right, okay, thank you, off you go. So it was an interesting dance trying to get a job, and I ended up spending an awful lot of time on my own, having these visions, doing a little bit of readings, going on, living out, dining out on this. And I was ringing up friends saying, I just got to speak to you and say, oh my God, you're just so amazing. You have no idea how amazing you are. And they were saying, yes, okay. Can you get to the point? What do you really want to say? And that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to say you are even more amazing than you think you are. And even the most positive people, they were really just didn't really get where I was coming from. I probably wasn't explaining myself very well. I didn't tell them about my experience. I just wanted to share with them. It's like having the best box of chocolates you've ever had, and you want every single person to taste one or even hear about them. And each one of those chocolates was each person, full of magic. If only they knew. If only they knew that they were creating their life with this incredible power that is inside of us, that we're all connected to. Wow. How can I express to you how incredible that was? How life-changing, how it saved my life. That saved my life. Yes, absolutely, 100%. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've really enjoyed this experience that I've shared with you. Most powerful experience, I believe, of my life. The next episode, the third episode, I will be sharing with you what happens when I have that dream, the whole dream, fully awake, have my first out-of-body experiences, I see my guide, and how I really just get on following this amazing awakening. So, as I say, I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, remember to subscribe and press the bell to let you know, to alert you when we have the next experiences to come, and share it with your friends. So for now, I will say namaste. Thank you.